Hey people of VC, it's Andy Cloudy Mulder. In this video I am going to show you my collection of single LP live albums. I've always been a massive fan of live albums. It's no secret that the first metal album I had was Live After Death. Although that's a double album, it still remains my favourite live album to date. But Scott Waters did an interesting video a week or so back now, which was his favourite single LP live albums, and there are some great ones out there. And I wanted to do it's a response. I don't think he really intended it to be a thread, but this is my response to Scott's video. I pulled out all the albums I had. In fact, I had 22, and I haven't really got time to sort of fly through and really think about it and put the favourite ones together. So I'm going to show them all and see if I can do it quick enough. So this is more of a collection video, I guess, rather than favourites. But let's jump straight in because there are a lot. First one is this is the Witch of Berkeley by A to Z. It's their only studio album. So this is a band, new wave of British heavy metal band that formed around 1979. This album's from, 1980. They managed to get themselves signed to Polydor, but Polydor didn't want to... they didn't know them well enough to give them studio time, so they suggested they record their first album live, which is what they did. And it's an okay album. In fact, I really enjoy it. I don't think it particularly gets many great reviews, but all the same, it's a good album. I'm glad I've got it from them. Second up, so a few of these Scott showed in his, and the reason he showed them is because they're great albums, and probably a lot of people have got these as well. So this is Accepts Kaizokuban. Really good, live from Japan, more of an EP, 6 tracks on it. Next up, AC/DC, If You Want Blood. See the classic live album from then, from 1979 I think it is, 78. Another EP. Now this is one I wish was actually longer, because this sounds superb. I do love a bit of Armored Saint, and this Armored Saint live again has just 6 tracks on it, but killer record nonetheless. Now BTO, Bachman Turner Overdrive. This is Japan live. I don't have any BTO studio albums. I think I got this one actually as VCLT from Greg the Egg. Not been a band I'm particularly interested in, but I do like this album actually. Yeah, especially Four Wheel Drive is a great track. So not a band I'm going to invest any further in particularly, but it is a good live album. I think this was also VCLT from Greg as well. So this is Blackfoot Highway Song. I think Scott showed this one as well. Interesting part of it is, I think, so this was recorded in 1982 UK tour. So right up here, and I believe part of this was recorded in Newcastle and some of it was recorded in Edinburgh, which is my current hometown. So yeah, it's a pretty good album. Again, I'm not that big on Blackfoot. I have a couple of their studio albums, but I prefer that live album more than any other albums that I've got of theirs. Have some Sabbath, Live at Last. This is a 9 tracks. Difficult to see with the black on the background. I don't even know if this was an official album or not. But it's one I got as a freebie. It was sent, an album I bought off eBay. This came as a stiffener, and the guy said, "Oh, it probably doesn't play, but it plays really well. It's got a scratch on it that makes it click, but it certainly doesn't skip, and certainly not a bad record to have as a stiffener with another one that you've ordered." These are all in. They're not in any other order than alphabetic, and there may well be 1 or 2 that are out of sync. Now this is a great single disc live record. This is a Bow Wow live Holy Expedition. Bow Wow being a J metal band, so this is what, from 1983, and this is really raw and really good. Really captures the band with a lot of energy, so well worth checking out. Dio Intermission, bit of a cheat this one because it does have a I think it has at least one studio or two studio tracks on here, because I think this is when was it, 1986, so I think they just changed guitarists on here as well, so this was a little intermission from Dio between albums. Mighty Halloween. This is Halloween live in the UK. 7 great tracks on here, including Dr. Steen, Future World, Rise and Fall, I Want Out. Great stuff. What year was this then? So this was probably around 87, 88. In fact, I say 1989. There we go. A bit later than I thought. But it's a great little live album. Unleashed in the East, controversially, is not my favourite Judas Priest live album. I do actually prefer Priest Live because it's from the time that I really first got into Judas Priest, but it's still a killer album, although Priest Live is a double, so it doesn't qualify for this video, but still it's a fantastic live album. And any of these albums as well, there's a lot is said about a lot of live albums with all the overdubs and the re-recordings, but to me, if it says it's a live album, I'll take it at face value and I'll enjoy it for what it is. Magnum, Marauder. This was their first live album that they put out, which is what, 1980 on Jet Records. Some great tracks for the first 2 or 3 albums. If I Could Live Forever, Foolish Heart in the beginning, Changes. Great live album. Another one, this I actually showed it in my last video update, which is an album I didn't realise existed until very recently. This is from 1989, but from some shows in 1982 where they were supporting Ozzy Osbourne. Again, there is actually 2 discs in here, but as I mentioned in the previous video, one is an interview disc and one is the live disc. So it still qualifies as a single live album in my book. Another one Scott showed, Motorhead, No Sleep Till Hammersmith. No, I don't think any live album list would be complete without it in there. Great stuff. So what, this is from 1981. The classic bomber lighting rig above. Another one Scott showed, Overkill, slightly different cover. I think yours are probably the green writing at the top. This is an album that I picked up in Newcastle when I had to meet up with Merrily Chris. So I was stoked to find that out in the wild. Another classic album. What do we have next? The Rods live. Who doesn't like the Rods? Raw, straight up hard rock, heavy metal. Love the Rods, and great to have them in live as well. Slayer, Alive, Undead. Now this was what I was delighted to find. It's a repress, but it's from the 87. I'm not sure when the original Live and Dead came out, but I wasn't that fussed about getting the picture disc version. So when I found a copy of the Metal Blade black vinyl version, I jumped on it. I got it at a very good price as well. So there we go, Slayer, Live and Dead. My introduction to Testament was the Live at Eindhoven It's an EP. There are 5 songs on here. It was released, I think, after the Legacy came out. It has Over the Wall, Burnt Offerings, Do or Die, Apocalyptic City, and Reign of Terror. I believe it's been re-released at least once or twice with more tracks on it. Yeah, but this was recorded obviously at the Eindhoven Dynamo Open Air Festival in 1987. Great, I've loved this since the day I bought it back in 87 or 88, whenever I actually found it, but it's been in my collection for 30 odd years now, and still gets the occasional play. Canada's finest. This is Thor live in Detroit. Killer artwork. This is a Canadian pressing. I think Greg also sent me this one, so I know Greg likes a live performance as well, loves his live music, so when he's been kind enough to send me some CLT, he sent me some killer live albums to boot. But there we go. Thor live in Detroit. This one's a little left field in terms of the ones I've got in my collection. So this is 12th Night, Live and Let Live, or Live and Let Live, or Live and Let Live, or Live and Let Live, whatever you want to go for. So this is from 1983, recorded at the Marquee Club. 12th Night are they're on the Music for Nations label, which is where I first my first introduction to them, as I was listening through the Music for Nations stuff through my collection, and they're more of a prog band. It's not heavy metal by any means, and although there's only 6 tracks on here, I think it's pretty much a full-length album. But interesting one to have in the collection. Not one I play a lot. Another, I was going to say studio album, but another album that's more of an official release than released as a live album, which a lot of live albums are almost like greatest hits, which is Vardis, 100 miles per hour. Guaranteed, no overdubs. So this is again an album that was released as part of their catalogue rather than being a best of, and it was recorded live. And this is a great album. If you've not heard any Vardis, I thoroughly recommend that you check out Vardis. Another killer band from the 80s, and I don't think they're anywhere near as good as the 80s now. I know there's a lot has been written and said about Blackie's changing beliefs and what have you, and the way he's taken the band, but to me, Was was all about the theatre and the gore and the imagery and the excessiveness, and yeah, so this was Live in the Raw, 1987. I think this is the Electric Circus tour, effectively. Great live album. I really enjoy this one. And one left. We've flown through those. Be good after my last video, which was excessively long. Let's going to finish up with some Yngwie Malmsteen, Trial by Fire, live in Leningrad. I think this was around 89. Yeah, 1989. So this is when he had Joe Lynn Turner on vocals. I saw them in Cardiff and St David's Hall on this tour in '89 with Joe Lynn Turner, and thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought he was amazing in my. And I always like. I mean, Yngwie Malmsteen has a lot of detractors and a lot of critics, but you know what? I just like him for what it is and for what he does, especially those early '80s albums. Killer stuff. So there we go. That's my live album single disc, single LP edition collection. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've got any of these. Let me know if you've got any different ones that you think I should check out. And who knows, I'll maybe even do a follow-up with my my double albums, which I think are probably a lot less, but no less interesting. Thanks for watching. Thanks Scott for the inspiration. I will leave a link below to Scott's original video, so please do check that out as well if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. Catch you again soon. Cheers.